Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Vintage Story. So I'm down back here for just a little bit. You can see my field has come in. I'm about to harvest that up. I was just basically doing a little bit of sorting and stuff while I waited for chickens to come in. It's currently October 3rd, about to be October 4th. Our final larch tree did come in, so we're gonna hack this down. Actually, everything I was wanting to get done has come in. How did we do? Do we have more larch? I see one larch seed. Just one. Okay. Well, this one, I'm just going to replant this one here. It's not going to hurt anything to be here. It'll probably be spring before I harvest it. And of course, there is that redwood. I will probably harvest that before I head up. I might wait till spring. For 0 hours. Come on. Come on, chicken. You can do it. Okay, let me go harvest my field real quick. I need to do that anyways. Okay, so we can officially greet the new Generation 6 babies. Hello, babies. Oh, we are getting there. Up to Generation 6 now. That's awesome. So that means next year, I can generally do, if I'm good about it, I can generally do about 3 generations a year. Fairly well. I could probably do more, but I'm not down here for like a big chunk of the year, you know? Okay, so now we are officially... no strings attached, we are up in the mountains for the winter. The dawn of October 4th. So, a little bit later than I wanted to be, but that was mainly because I was just waiting on chickens. And wanting to do my field, because I planted that flax a little bit later than I probably should have. Now, once we get a little bit more resin, we're going to add another windmill to this, and then another windmill, and so on. Yeah, let's go down to our basalt mine, our super spooky basalt mine. And let's grab our smooth stone. I want a bit of this, and I also want a bit of the cobble. That's going to be plenty for a little bit anyways. And actually, we're going to go ahead really quick. Set ourselves up a few bloomeries. That way I've got this for whenever I need it. We're going to go ahead and run like 6, I think. Because I do want to make some iron plates here shortly. And let's go ahead. We're going to be running some meteorite pieces. I've got enough to do basically 10 ingots. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. And 5 charcoal. So we're going to get all 20 of that meteoric iron going. And then we're going to go ahead and get out some magnetite as well. Enough to do 4 bloomeries. Because once the wind kicks on, I'd like to have this stuff. The meteoric iron's for something different. We don't really need the wind for that, but when the wind does pick up, I want some blooms to process, so. I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and get 2 more. We'll go ahead and do 6 bloomeries of iron. And we do have 5 iron plates made up. Because this is something that I really should go ahead and just get out of the way. Get these made. It's not going to take too long. And that way when the wind does pick up, we'll be ready for it. At least with 2 anvils. We're going to make another one here shortly, but at least get 2 anvils going. I should have made the lanterns first, I think. Okay, so there's that. Okay, we are off to our final ingot. I may have to heat it up. We'll see. Yeah. Almost made it without having to heat it up, but probably would have if it wasn't for all the drifters. That's okay. We're going to get some lanterns this year, so. And then we're just going to go straight into the next one after this. And pretty good chance we may go straight into the one after that after this. After the next one. So, basically probably end up doing 3 anvils in a row. Or pretty good chance of it. There we go. There's that. And then we're going to weld that together. There we go. Alright. Let me get my stuff organized for the next one. And I'm going to go ahead and get this one smithed out. And this anvil can now go right there. Look, they got excited. They got a little bit faster. Hey. Okay, actually, while this is finishing heating up, it looks like some of our blooms are done at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and take those. Also, our meteoric iron is done. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. And these iron blooms are done. Wonderful. And while this meteoric iron is still really, really hot, whoops, we're going to go ahead, put this onto here, and we're going to be making a plate with that one. Of course, they would show up when I'm trying to do stuff. Okay, this finished up, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. There we go, and then we're going to go ahead and smith the top, of course. Didn't have to fight off as many drifters this time, so did it all in one run. There we go. Throw that in there for just a moment. I'm going to have to go get food, so I'm going to let these fires die down at this point. But we're going to come right back and we're going to smith a new anvil, our meteoric iron anvil. Well, actually, I guess I'll keep the fire. It's not going to take me long to run up there and get food. There we go. Another anvil. And, yeah, I'll keep this going. And we're going to do our meteoric iron plate. 3 ingots for the first half. Just like with the iron. It's just we're going to be doing it out of meteoric iron. It's the exact same process. You know, make your base, make your top, stick them together. But it's kind of a little bit exciting, right? Because we're going to be making one out of meteoric iron. That way we have a nice, pretty one. I'd like a couple, but eventually we're going to have an anvil collection of like all the anvils. But for now, because probably my health hammers will probably have, well, long term, I'd like them to all have steel. Well, I guess it's not that important, but it would still be kind of cool, right? Alright, so we're going to be making the anvil base. You could see this, a little bit tough to see usually. For this, we can set down. It can help. But pretty much however you want to slice it, it's going to be extremely hard, especially when this is white hot. It's extremely difficult to see. Oh, they're really getting with it. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if they're going to run like that, I'm going to be running balloons through them. I wish I had my 4th one set up right now. And I will basically just be kind of keeping those running as I'm smithing out our anvil. Almost done. There we go. Alright, and there is our anvil base. Okay. Then we're going to be doing our top. Those are done. Let me grab these. This is why I wanted all this stuff made, so whenever the wind did pick up, I could go to town on it. Probably all I'm going to make right now is just going to be plates, because I want to make a bunch of lanterns. And I'm basically letting it do 2 runs of ingots, then I'm running all 3 of them on plates at the same time. I'm using a little bit of charcoal because I'm not doing it like maximum efficiency, but I'm not worried about that, you know. We have redwood now. We don't care how much charcoal we use. Plus, it's taking me a little bit longer to smith the anvil because I'm doing a lot of this, you know. But that's okay. Every time we do that, that's 3 more plates. Or working towards 3 more plates anyways. So our smith is feeling lively today. And once we finish up this anvil, it'll be just a little bit faster. Okay, and these are done. You can see they're running fast enough. These aren't like fully heated or anything like that. So if I get over here fast, I can get the plates made pretty quickly, so. Oh, I love this sound. Actually, the rest of my iron blooms are done too, so. I didn't heavy hit this one. Normally I would heavy hit these, but it slipped my mind. I just started going to town smithing, so this one's taking a little bit longer, but. Alright, we are jamming right now. Like I said, it's taking me a little bit more charcoal, because everything's not running like the most like possible efficiency, but that's okay. Alright, we are on the last few pieces now. I did have to reheat this one slightly, but here we go. It's not every day you get to smith 3 anvils and a ton of plates all at the same time. Alright. And we'll hammer that together. And there we go. We have our meteoric iron anvil. Let's switch these out. We get this one. You get that one. So technically at this point, I'll just use this one since it's still going. But now at this point we can churn out some extra iron. And I did, you know, I got our blooms from over there. Right now we've got 12 plates. It's not bad. They've slowed down slightly, but they're still running pretty good speed, so. Alright guys, don't stop on me now. We gotta make more plates. More plates, more plates. And just wait till we have all the wind that we need for our 8 helve hammers and sped up. So when they're running like this, they'll still be kind of kicking away. But it's kind of a balancing act, but that's okay. As you saw right there, I mean, they were kicking out, and they were kicking out plates, or kicking out ingots faster than these could heat up. So I had time to sneak in some plates there, and that was only with 3 helve hammers going. One was running, but it wasn't actually doing anything. It was just a detriment. A pointless detriment to the system, so. But it's October 5th. I've actually already ran a little bit of stuff up there. Not much. I mean, it's nothing major. I just was basically placing blocks, but still, we're making pretty good progress already this winter. And I'm about to be able to just run through all my plates and have lots of lanterns for our lighting needs. Now, to be fair, I also ate through a lot of charcoal, too. I had already used some. And actually, I've still got this charcoal pit over here that I've still got to empty. So it's not that big of a deal. Plus, we're going to be knocking out a huge chunk of our smithing right here, right out the gate. Just happened to be when the wind was blowing, so. And technically, of course, I could boost my lanterns with some silver. I've got a little bit of silver. I need to go back and mine that other silver vein. Or the rest of that silver vein. Leave me alone, I got smithing to do. Do not take the forge. You shall not take the forge. You won't take it. These lanterns will be made. You will not spawn here anymore. Away with you beasts. There we go. I'm actually starting to get a little bit worried about these because it's so slow. Just because I'm a little bit worried about the speed. Not really worried. It's going to finish. Because these are plenty hot. And I'm basically on like the last little bit. But I'm going to help it out a little bit. Just in some spots. Just because I can clear that stuff off a little bit faster than they can. So I'm going to throw some copper in here. I might be able to heat it up. So we're going to have 21 iron plates. It's actually not too bad, to be honest. I don't know. That actually seems like they're kind of speeding up right now. So I think they're dying down again. Yeah, I'll probably just wait. I'm going to run these, though. Because we can definitely get all these made. And that'll help make iron plates. Yeah, so that's all of our iron plates. Not bad. And then we'll probably be able to do another batch of like copper plates and brass plates, you know. And it's going to be a mighty big haul of copper plates. Because I'm probably just going to turn all of our copper ingots into copper plates. Oh, you need another one, you say? Here you go. And that was actually spectacular timing because I needed to make anvils. So I was able to do that while I was making anvils. And really, I should probably go ahead and get some more blooms going. We'll go with five iron blooms, I think. Alright, and our copper plates are done. We got 6 copper plates. And 21 iron plates. So, 27 plates, not a bad haul. And 3 anvils. Yeah, 3 anvils. So now, at this point, I say it's time we go make ourselves some lanterns. A bunch of lanterns. We're kind of getting settled in. Yeah, you can see I placed some more blocks, like the ceiling and stuff. I haven't started chiseling it. Nothing terribly crazy. I started it and then I was like, I really need to just go ahead and get in the forge at the moment. Now, since we're doing these out of clear quartz, there's a pretty good chance I won't have enough clear quartz because I haven't mined a whole lot of quartz, but We'll see what I've got, and then... Actually, I think one of these have candles, right? Aha, here's my candles. Let's take these, and we'll just get as many iron lanterns as we can. So we got 14 additional iron lanterns that we can use to light stuff up. And really, at this point, there's really no reason for me to pack around a lantern while I'm in the base, because everything's fairly lit up. It's just not completely, like, drifter-proof, you know. So it is time that we toss down some lanterns just all over the place. Temporary lighting, basically. And they're gonna be centered around the forge. There we go. Lots of light. Lots of light. I don't know if it's totally drifter proof, but we're getting there. I used all of them. Wonderful. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think, I'm going to start actually working on the forge itself. Decorating in here just a little bit. Maybe start doing some of the walls and stuff like that. And, honestly, they might be coming up out of here, too. So just for now, I'm going to go ahead and just block this off a little bit. Decorating in here, like I said, I did decide we're not going to use the dry stone for the floor. We're actually going to be using grates and having it so that you can kind of look down. So I'm not going to be running the... Well, I might start running the floor, but like I said, it's going to be the chert polished stone instead. But I am going to start running some of the walls and stuff, so... I'll probably wait on the ceiling for right now, but I'm going to start running the walls and figure out how I want to do those. I'll be back once I make a little dent in it. Plus, I'm probably going to pop over to my test world and do a little bit of palette testing. Though I think it's probably still going to stay the basalt around here. But I am going to have to make some more basalt stone bricks. So I'll be back here in a little bit. Okay, I actually popped down to the hamlet area because I was wanting to check on our cuttings, because we should be getting an answer on those pretty soon. But I wanted to introduce you to our Generation 3 piglets. Unfortunately, I think I only got 2 on this batch. These will be the first ones that we can kill with the cleaver. So the ewe hasn't had her baby yet, and I love this in the fall. Like, look at that, so pretty. But the ewe hasn't had her baby as of yet, but that's fine. I was curious about the tree cuttings because we're still waiting on those. So, all right, and let's go ahead. Time to get cracking. We're actually going to be starting for the smith this year. We're going to be starting with the pillars because they're going to be kind of a big part of our build. I'm going to spend a little bit of time chiseling them, of course, and figuring out, because I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to chisel them precisely. But we're going to start off by making ourselves a fair amount of shell rock and basalt rock. This is going to be the main materials of our pillars. Man, I'm just eating through hammers and chisels. It's painful to watch. Let's see, what was that chest? It was that one. This one's got my mortar. Let's go ahead. We're going to be making shellstone bricks. My inventory is about to be beautiful for a while, I think, because I'm just going to let it go. There we go. There's 4 stacks of shellstone bricks. That should be good for a minute anyways. And then we're going to want basalt dry stone. And I'm going to need a whole lot more than that. I didn't bring any more basalt cobble. I'll have to run over there here in a little bit and get some basalt cobble. But I have a feeling our materials are going to go quick. Once we start going. I'll probably end up spending a bit of the time excavating and chiseling things, probably. Because like 1,000 smooth stone and like 10 crates of rock, it's just not enough, you know, in the grand scheme, it's just not enough. But right here, these little sections where the walkways come down, we're actually going to be, this is where our pillars are going to run. And these are going to come up too high, I think. Now, the thing about these pillars is we're going to run them up to the ceiling. But then, since I'm planning on taking the forge vertical, these are also going to run down through the other layers. They're going to be like these grand... basically, these big grand support pillars that hold up the whole forge. Because it's going to be fairly vertical, and it's a fairly good size. We need some big pillars to support this forge. So there's going to be a total of, well, we're going to have 3. Probably go ahead and do another one back here, and another one. I could probably push this, yeah, and then have that come and wrap around the pillar. I think that would be good. Yeah, so we'll probably do 5 on each side. 5 pillars on each side, so that's going to be great fun. And they're going to be basically a mix of the shellstone bricks, the basalt dry stone, and then we're also going to sprinkle in some chert when it comes time to kind of chisel these in. So I'll probably be spending a bit of time, especially here at the start, working on these. Because they're going to take a bit of time to chisel, I'm certain. But like I said, I haven't completely decided for sure how I'm going to chisel them. I have some ideas, though. But we're going to run these up, and then the grate flooring is going to run at this layer. I may be able to save a little bit of dry stone on the back, depending on how I do this. Well, no, it's going to be great, so no, it's going to have to come all the way up. We're going to come up to here, and then at the very, very top, we are going to have more shellstone. And this section here, I'm going to break this open. You won't be able to see the other side, but you will be able to see this front side. So this is going to be the very, very top. Basically like that. Of course, they're not chiseled, but that's the general shape of the pillar, or the general layout of the pillar and colors, basic colors. Of course, we're going to run some chart up through there and then chisel this out. And I'm probably going to hang a lantern maybe somewhere right around in here on each of them. So we can kind of have these lanterns hanging off of the pillars. But I'm going to go ahead and get the pillars themselves ran, and then I'll start chiseling them. Like I said, I've got to basically build 10 of these pillars, and I'm probably going to have to run, I know for a fact, because I'm almost out of basalt dry stone. It takes 3/4 of a stack just to run it up per pillar, so that's okay. At least it's stones. Like, stones are easy enough to farm up, I guess. Hark, I hear the angels singing over here. We have wind. Keep singing, my dear hammers. Keep singing. And just think, once we have all 8 hammers, which we are going to have a transmission so that we can kind of toggle systems on and off a little bit once we get all this set up. But once we have the other 4 held hammers, we'll be able to run a stack of copper basically every operation. So it's going to be wonderful. We'll be able to pump out lanterns like nobody's business. It'll be fantastic. Alright, but I'm going to be doing a bit of smithing. I'm going to be doing a bit of laying out pillars. And I will be back. It's going to take a little bit. I don't know that I'll get them all chiseled out right this second, but it just depends on what I have the strength for. What I have the mental strength to get done on these pillars. But I'm going to get them ran, maybe start chiseling them a little bit. By the way, these hammers are just churning out plates right now. They're really getting with it. I wish I had my zinc made up right now. I don't know if I want to... I ran out of dry stone. I've got to go get more basalt stone, but I'll get to that. Tell you what, I think I'm just going to process... I've got 30 blooms here. I mean, this is going to give us a lot of copper plates. Enough to light up the village for sure. So I'm probably going to just go ahead and start switching over to processing iron. I'll at least go ahead and get all that turned into iron. I'm probably not going to turn it into plates. I might. I only have 7. I might at least turn a bit of it into plates. We'll see. But I've got to go get more dry stone, and I've got to move these crates because they're in the way now. It's honestly, it's fast enough. It's hard for me to step away and do a lot because they're kicking stuff out right now, which is fine by me. I'd rather than be running like this than running slow. So, but I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of smithing this year because we're going to be working on in the smith for at least a bit. So it's probably going to give us a lot of opportunities to get a lot of smithing done. So that's going to be nice. The nice thing is it hasn't even been that long since our last good windstorm. I mean, it's only October 6th, and our last one was like the 4th into the 5th. So this is working out in our favor right now. Alright, but I'm going to continue smithing this. I'd like to get these all turned over to plates while we have the wind available. And then I've got to go over there and I've got to get basalt and load up on that. But I'll be back once I get a little bit of progress on this. So. Okay, and it looks like I'm going to be getting some more copper going, because I got the last of my iron blooms going. I guess I should really just get more blooms going. I imagine we'll be processing a lot of iron. It's a convenient time to do it, really, because I'm in the smith. I can do other stuff while it's processing. I mean, yeah, I'm not really paying a whole lot of attention half the time. So I am wasting a little bit in terms of charcoal, but I don't actually care. That's why we got a lot of junk wood and stuff, is so that I can do it like this. Because as I've mentioned, time, generally more valuable than materials within Vintage Story, in my opinion. So we're trying to make the most of our time. I can probably go ahead and start up more plates. I'm almost done with all my plates. And then I'll have one more iron plate, basically 3 more. So I'll be adding another 15 iron plates. So 22. And of course we already ran through a bunch of them, but not bad. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just get another batch of bloomeries. And another batch of blooms being made up. Try to keep our iron going. I hear drifters every once in a while, but I'm not getting any inside the base now. Or inside the forge, so. I will say, it's going to be a ton of time before we need all these copper plates, though. I'm making a literal ton of the things. But yeah, we'll never go hungry for copper plates again, I don't think. After this winter. I just can't pass up really good wind like this. It's really hard to pass up, you know. All that copper that we had made up, like that 160 ingots, yeah, we're about to be out of that. I'll have to, I would do the zinc, but I've got to go up there and get it, and I'm just like, I'll get it later. I'm sure we'll have wind again this, you know, during the winter, because we're going to be up here for a bit in the forge, so. Luckily this is almost done, because I really want my basalt cobble. I'd like to go get that. I swear I can't get like 5 feet from these things. Like, they just finish it so fast. Alright, so that's going to be the last of the copper. Oh, you finally found your way over here, huh? Well, you will not take the forge. Seems like now they're just trying to trickle in, because there's enough lighting in here and stopping most of the spawns, just like weird places, I guess, that they're just probably in there, honestly, or something. And there we go. This is our last batch of copper plates. Some of this will probably end up saving for armor, just decorative armor. But we'll see. We shall see how things go. But anyways, I'm going to get these going. I'm going to, once those plates are done, I'm going to go get our basalt. I've got to dump off all these plates somewhere. Empty my inventory out a little bit. But I'm going to go get some, just a load of basalt stone. And get the dry stone made so I can run the rest of these pillars, do a bit of chiseling. And we are burning through some basalt. I went ahead and I just brought basically all these slots with the smooth basalt bricks. And just converted them here. I figured that would be the easiest way. But I've already ran through 6 crates. And I'm going to take a load of just the basalt stones back. Yeah, so we've only got 2 filled crates of basalt stone now. I do have, I think, I've got a little bit here, but yeah. We have definitely put a dent in our basalt already. But that's okay. That's what's nice about having a translocator right there that's basalt. That's why I was so happy about that, because we're going to use so much basalt that that's actually going to make a really big difference for us. But I'm going to get back to the forge. I'm going to bring all these pillars up, and like I said, I'm going to do a little bit of chiseling. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I wanted to bring you guys back. I got all the pillars ran up, and I got some really basic stuff ran on most of these, but this one I've got a bit more work done. You can see I did put some shale smooth stone back there. We're gonna eat through some materials this winter. Like, I think there's going to come a point where we're just out of materials, and then we've got to, like, we'll probably spend some time chiseling and excavating, I think. That's the nice thing, is there's a lot of things we need to work on here. But you can see we actually started using some of our suavite for this kind of dark green here, and I have a plan for this, so I hollowed it out all the way through for now on that little bit there, and then I've got to do the same down through here. I think the sides will probably end up being a little bit different. I don't know. I might end up doing this design too for the sides, but we'll see. And I also thought about doing a different type of stone on this back bit here, so it kind of really makes this middle part pop. So that's a possibility. But beyond that, I mean, they're not crazy fancy. I did run basically the rib cage of this building, roughly. That's why all this dirt here, I'm not going to get rid of it just yet, so, because I'm going to need it fairly soon. I also did push this back so that it lined up with this, because, you know, it was offset by 1, which does mean my banner sits a little bit funny. I may end up moving that. Oh, you're not in there. But you could say we should have a really nice view of this forge when there's not a bunch of dirt there. I still have some drifters spawning in places. It's not as bad in the forge, because right now it's actually medium rift activity, but they're not like just swarming me. I had one jump down here when I was trying to chisel, and yeah. I've been doing these sections of grate floor. It takes about maybe 5 minutes to do a batch, something like that. But doing these sections of the graded floor, then I'm probably going to bring a beam over, and I've got to cut away. I've got to figure out exactly where. I think I'm going to have one spot on this side and one spot on that side where our metal cauldrons would get pulled over, you know, because we're going to be running these across, and where they would be pouring down. So there's going to be lava kind of just falling from above down through, basically like a hole in the floor down here. So, and yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. That's really all I have to show you. I've been working on this. But I feel like we're starting to make a dent in it, at least. We're starting to make a dent in it. Also, a couple things. I did go ahead and I made 42 more iron ingots. It was basically all those blooms we had ran. We've got a pretty decent dent. We've only got 1,006 nuggets of magnetite now, but like that's why we mined all that extra magnetite. Just at one point when the Helve Hammers were running, but it's November 1st, about midday, so this is our first few days in here. We've gotten a pretty decent dent in it so far. So, also, I wanted to mention a couple mods. It's time. It is time to add some mods, I do believe, because we're getting to that point. Like I said, we're mainly going to be adding decorative mods. There is one mod that adds a lot of stuff that kind of, in my opinion at least, kind of makes the game a bit easier. It does expand the game a bit, so that's why I've kind of waited to add it, and why I've waited to add a few mods is because we're kind of at the point now where food and survivability and stuff, it's not really a big concern for us. We're basically more so building and then doing the rest of progressions type stuff. So the first batch of mods that we will be adding to the pack, we're going to be adding fancy doors. We are going to be adding primitive survival, which is a mod. Generally, I don't like adding it at the very beginning, because in my opinion it does make things substantially easier. You have a lot easier sources of food and things at the start of the game, but at this point we're going to be adding it. For one, it adds a bucket so that we can move lava. It also adds fishing, and it adds a variety of other things as well. Kind of a customizable particle thing, which we'll be using a bit, as you might imagine. I love particles. If you've watched, like, in my Minecraft series, I love particles on things, and I think they add a lot of movement and life to stuff. So we're gonna be using that as well. Also, the bricklayers mod, so that we can have like multicolored glass and ceramics and stuff. We're going to be adding that in. And then we're also going to be adding in medieval expansion, which Rowley brought up. I've played with it before, and it's really a great mod. I want it for the drawbridge and the portcullis, and, you know, a few other little things there. But Rowley brought up using water wheels down in the lagoon, you know, because we're going to be using it in the lagoon area. So yeah, I think we're gonna be using some water wheels down there, and there is some balancing aspects to the water wheels, so they're not just super OP. within medieval expansion. So, because we have to, whereas wind power, we have to wait on wind, water wheel power, we have to perform maintenance. So it kind of balances itself out in that way. And we are also going to be adding the braziers mod so that we can have some really fancy braziers. Now, medieval expansion does add braziers of its own. I've always liked the braziers from the brazier mod a bit more personally because they have a little bit more character. They're a little bit more interesting to look at. So we are going to be adding the braziers mod in as well. I'll be getting those added in probably between this episode and next, I imagine. Right now, like I said, I'm just chiseling away. But I will include links in the description, either this episode or starting next episode for those mods. Kind of just depends on when I add them in. So I do already have them downloaded. I just got to throw them in. But anyways, I'm going to continue working on this. One thing I do want to mention, I brought this section out a little, as you see, with the basalt stone bricks. Slight contrast between the shell and the basalt. I know they're both dark, but that's kind of the plan. We use the chert and the shell rock a bit more as the contrast. I did consider adding a lighter color or going and mining sandstone, but I don't know. I want to keep it more of this sort of palette for the most part. We might add some detail with sandstone, and we can do almost sort of like a gold texture with the sandstone, which we're going to use in some places, but I haven't mined sandstone yet, and I'm just like, I'll wait, because I don't think I really need it for the bulk of this anyways. But this section here, this forge part, this is actually going to run all the way down vertically, so we're going to kind of have this sort of similar shape as it goes down. Basically this like big oval shape here, oval-ish, but we're going to keep this shape all the way down, basically where this basalt stone is. Of course, these dry stones, they have to go once I start running the great flooring. But the nice thing is we'll be able to see our cave down below us once this comes together. So but anyways, I'm going to continue working on this room at this point, and hopefully get a bit more of the floor and stuff ran, and I will be back in a bit. Okay, it has been a little bit. We've basically had our first month in the forge at this point, or close to it, a little over, a little lower. I didn't finish running grates. I basically chiseled grates, so I was tired of chiseling grates. I am going to have to make chisels. Yeah, I've got 2 at the moment. But I got a lot of the grating chiseled, and you can see I went back through and added this little bit that rises up. And then I've got this that's kind of like hooking the grating into this, because this is going to be like a central segment that kind of runs down, kind of like a big pillar almost. And I'm going to do some kind of coupling on this other side. I've just got to figure out exactly what I want to do. I've only done these 2 so far because I started doing them, right? And I started here and I was chiseling. And I came over here and I was chiseling. And then I came over here and I was like, oh, wait a second. I've got stairs here. I'm going to have to figure something else out for that section. Either, I mean, realistically, I could shift the stairs by 1 and put the, I might do that actually. Put the coupling in there and it wouldn't be that hard to do. And I haven't done the ones on the other side because I got sidetracked. I went through and did these little bits. I've still got to add the shell in, but I was starting to do the ceiling because I was thinking, well, I haven't completely edited the footage for this video, but I know we're probably before long going to be getting close to wrapping up point, and I really don't want to have to take a thumbnail with all this dirt in the way. So I was getting these ceiling bits ran out. I think I'm just going to end up having to remove the dirt and then replace it later anyways, because I've still got to do all this chiseling, and I don't think I'm going to get to it. But I've got to figure out too what I want in the center. I started digging this out and I was thinking, well, I'll put shell there, and then I was like, no, I really don't want shell there running down the center. I want something, you know, a little bit different. So I've got to figure out exactly what I want to do there, and I've got to finish bringing this over a little bit. But we do kind of have the sort of the rib cage of this room somewhat in place at this point. I mean, it's taking a bit, but it is a big room, and I think it's going to be so wonderful whenever it's done. So, oh, and actually, fun fact, if you take a look, it's one of these, I think. Oh, no, it's this one. No, it's this one. Yeah, I actually originally was considering andesite here, because I have so much andesite smooth stone, but I did not like it. that's when I changed to the shale. So there is a little bit of andesite in one of those. And I just wanted to quickly mention, because of course there is the workbench extension mod. I know it's like a really popular mod. I don't personally use anything to double or to duplicate chiseling. You know, maybe if I was on a server or something like that and it was on there, I might. But generally, I don't use anything like that, and that's because chiseling is just kind of it's a time thing, you know, to be sure. But time is a really, to me, it's like the most. I've mentioned this before. It's the most valuable resource to me within Vintage Story, because trying to fit everything into certain time frames and planning your year around time, I think is a lot of what makes the game as fun as it is. So I don't personally use anything for making chiseling easier or quicker or anything like that. It all comes down really to personal preference, but I try to design my chisel projects so that I like trying to balance that time, and you know, I've got to do farming and stuff throughout the year. I mean, I guess really I don't have to. At this point, we could honestly take like a year off and just stay in the forge pretty much the entire time, but I try to basically design my build projects around the idea of not having something, you know, that doubles it. So you'll notice that with a lot of my chisel work, I will use, instead of using single blocks, I mean, I'll use it, I think I missed one. No, I didn't. Okay. I'll use it for stuff that's like really fine detail, but a lot of times I try to build things where I'm using, you know, one of these three, because you can quickly chisel things using those three. The single block, you know, it takes a bit longer. You know, we use it on the clothes, and I use it for little things like, you know, down here, just kind of making that angle. I use it for stuff like that. Of course, that's really, really quick to do. But I try to design my chisel stuff around not having something that doubles or duplicates my chisel stuff. So most of the stuff that I use a lot of like single bits for and that take a while are generally going to be one-of-a-kind things anyways, because I don't like to reuse stuff. I like to have at least a little bit of variation in things. Like for example, like if I did another clothesline, it would be different clothes or something. I know my clothesline not that great, but I figured, well, we'll try our hand at it, see how it goes, and I think it turned out all right. I mean, it's not like super crazy, but that kind of stuff I'd probably never duplicate anyways. So, but most of the mods that I like using are just stuff that adds like new blocks. I used all my dirt down there. I need to go up and get more. But see, if we had something like workbench extension, the forge would be extremely quick, and then it kind of loses that value to me, because we're going to spend a while doing the chisel work for it. And if I could just duplicate the grates, and it wouldn't take that long, it wouldn't take that much active time anyways. It's not as, for me, it's not the same kind of like rewarding feeling as when you get it all chiseled out. As you can see, I mean, these don't take that long, especially since I've already got this ran and I got that cut away a bit. These aren't too terribly time consuming, and I mean, they're fairly ornate, but everything's fairly quick. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of wanted to make a mention of that since we were discussing mods, and while we weren't going to be adding that in. Okay, and I wanted to show you, I was coming down here in the early hours of the morning just to check on a couple things, but look, we got more redwoods. Massive monster trees. Almost ran off the edge there. And how are you guys doing? We got hens. And I say, oh, these roosters are going to kill each other if I'm not careful. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kill the Generation 5 rooster, because he doesn't like his son that much. Come here. You know I'm coming for you. You know it. Stop it. Stop dancing. There we go. Because if you notice, they kind of kicked at each other. They were really wanting to fight. And you're the Generation 5 hen, so goodbye. You have done what I need you to do. Okay, it has been a bit, to say the least. You can see that I have brought out the grading. I've still got to do these far ends here. But I have brought the grading around, and I've got to do over here. Figure out how my stairs are going to run and stuff. But I did bring the grading out around this. I may end up dropping this floor section just slightly. I brought these little connections over on this side, and I did scoot the stairs over, as you can see, so we can get through there. And I did start working on these little side paths here a little bit, and you can see these little nooks. Now over on the other side you can see a little bit better the way those nooks are going to run. So if you come up here, you can see we actually have like this sort of like altar or table, if you will, carved into the side of the wall there. And then we have iron ingots and iron plates stacked up here, and we can basically store up our ingots on this. And we're also going to have these little nooks. We'll get into these come next episode, and what those are going to be for. And then over here, you know, we've got copper kind of piled up. Only have one ingot. Poor little old me. I only have one ingot of copper at the moment. I did discover there's another copper vein back here. I was digging out because we're going to have cementation furnaces back inside of here. And I did come across a rich deposit of copper. And over, see, it's over on the other side. You can see there is another deposit. Oop, there we go. Another deposit right back here. So we have a couple additional deposits of copper in case we were running low. And I did go ahead and remove the dirt so that we could get up here. But you can see I have ran a bit of the grading up here. And then this is going to kind of step out a little bit and kind of overlook the forge. Then we'll have the railings kind of come across through there. And if you want to see this without the dirt, because I needed it for the thumbnail and everything, but you can see that right through there, we're going to have this really nice view of the forge. The top floor of the forge will have a really nice view from up here. Now we still have to do a bit with the ceiling, basically run the cross beams and kind of the pulley system that's going to move these platforms, but we'll get to that. So definitely a lot of progress, but we still have a bit to go, of course, and I haven't even started the flooring over on this side. So, but then we'll have the cementation furnaces kind of come up, and then we'll have the sort of the chimney kind of come up on this side, so you can actually see it smoking when it's running. And then we're going to have some storage rooms up here as well. So now also, in addition, if we pop down really quick, just to show you, I know it's probably at this point it's not crazy exciting, but as I was digging for some quartz to make more lanterns, because I did have to make more lanterns between cuts, I was digging out quartz over here, and I came upon another medium copper vein down here as well. So very, very much copper to mine. I wish it was iron, but we're going to need all that copper, though, before too long, just for, like, chutes and things like that, hoppers and whatnot. So it's not a big deal, you know. So we got a pretty good dent on the lower half of this, but we still have a lot left to get done. So I'd like to get this all put in here pretty soon as well. But we've spent almost 2 months basically working on this room. We're about a month and a half, I guess, because we got in here a little into October, I think it was. But anyways, I know it's wrapping up point for this episode, so we're going to end this one out here, and then come next episode, we'll probably be working on the smith a bit more, get a bit more progress done, because I'd like to actually start getting the walls and stuff in place, and the ceiling, and getting some of these little side areas done, storage rooms and stuff like that. Go ahead and push hard into the smith this year, to try to get it to a pretty good spot by the end of the year, I think. We've got to do a lot of little chisel things like railings and stuff. They're going to be fairly easy, probably not nearly as time consuming as the grading, but and then I've still got to finish pillars and do the other sides of the pillars and all that, so still quite a bit of chisel work to do in here for sure, but we did get a nice dent on it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.